we live in a world where there's possibly never going to be a sequel for Dread or The Nice Guys, but we live in a world where there's 5 Sharknado movies. Just let that sink in for a moment, people. Hey, what's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Sharknado 5 Global Swarming. So, Sharknado 5 Global Swarming stars Ian Ziering and Tara Reid, and what this film is about. There's another Sharknado, and this time a lot more bizarre stuff happens. Their son gets lost. To be honest, at this point, do you really care about the plot with these movies? You know what they are doing with these movies. Do you think they even care about a plot, honestly? Was there even really that much of a plot to this movie? Besides the fact that there's a Sharknado. At this point, seriously. So, yeah, the Sharknado series is a very, very, very interesting series. And what I mean by that, per se, is that, I'm not a fan of the first movie all that much. I think it's actually just like a really terrible film. With the second movie, I can feel like they were kind of starting to grasp on what they can do, but still really wasn't that good. I felt like with the third movie, they finally grasped on what they could do with this franchise and just campy, ridiculous B movies. And that's when I felt like the third movie really started taking advantage of that. And then the fourth movie, which I never got to review actually, I thought they fully went that route, and I was like, yes, finally, and that was just great in the most hilarious way possible. That movie was just bizarre and hilarious. That movie, Sharknado 4: The Fourth Awakens, was just that. Now on to this fifth one, and now I can understand when people are saying okay, this is getting stale now. They're just cranking these out just year in and year out. It's just not that funny anymore. I can understand that, but you know what? I still look forward to this because it's just one of those fun things you could just look forward to every year. It's a new Sharknado movie. Why the hell not, right? Why not? And I will say this fifth one is kind of just okay. It really is. It's not guilty pleasure worthy okay. It's just blah. It's just okay. What really saves it from being terrible is because what saves it from being completely awful for me is that there is moments like that where it's just hilariously over the top, and there are some moments from that. But what really downgrades it from being a guilty pleasure is that there's some really boring moments and really just dull, serious moments that they really try to focus on way too much and actually focus on kind of just the bizarre over-the-topness of these films, and that's why I think kind of fails with this fifth one. But I do have some positives, like I said, and the positives are Ian Ziering, I always pronounce his name wrong, but he's the one that's always trying the most out of any of the actors in this movie. He really is. He's the only one that's really trying to give a good performance, but it's really not that good either, but he's trying. He's the only kind of convincing actor in any of these movies. To be honest, he's the only convincing actor in these films. And I do enjoy him. I do enjoy his character of Finn. He does really bring kind of just that cheesy action hero-ness to that character. And I really like it. I like that he can bring that cheesy over-the-topness with his character. And he does a pretty solid job with it. There is some bizarre action scenes that are just fun to watch. There are, they're mostly in the beginning. It's mostly in the beginning of the film where it's just all the action sequences that are just bizarre and hilariously fun. They're great. They're just fun to watch and all that. And there is some, ridiculously hilarious over-the-top moments in this film. There's some ridiculous over-the-top moments that are just flat out hilarious. Like, I watched this with my good friend Tony 22 Tiger Dude and Adam Haskell, and we were just dying of laughter at some points during this movie, because there's just so there's just a couple of hilarious moments that are just like, now that's Sharknado, like that's the Sharknado that this needs to be, and it's just hilariously funny at some points. You know, the directing wasn't too bad with the movie. I will say, like, wasn't too awful. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't too bad. You know, it was pretty nicely shot for the most part. Really, it was. So yeah, and cinematography, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Not nothing spectacular or great, but you know, it wasn't too bad, honestly. So yeah, and yeah, basically, I think that's all I got really for positives with this movie, because really what the negatives are with this film, and really kind of downgrades it for me, is that first being, I gotta say, Tara Reid can't act for crap. She really can't. She's definitely, I will say, the fourth movie was definitely by far her, probably her best acting performance ever, because I did enjoy her in that. But yeah, however, in this, it just seemed like she was just acting really terribly, especially when she's screaming. Like, she just does, like, that's how she screams. It's like, really, that's the best she can do. Just, yeah, and also the woman that plays Nova, I believe, she doesn't do a great job either. So, yeah, the acting is really not that great, really, to be honest. And honestly, what did you expect with this movie? I'm not gonna lie, like, really, the acting's not that great. I will admit, the action sequences, it's like, it's mostly during the finale, really, where it just kind of got just okay. Like, it was just bland, it was just boring to watch. The finale was not that exciting, honestly. Like the finale to 4 and 3 and stuff, like, that was exciting. This, it's just boring. Because my main issue with this movie is that they focus way too much on being serious. You know what I mean? Like, there is some moments where it just feels like they're just being way too serious. Like, way too serious. And, you know, there were some serious moments in 3, but at least in 3, it wasn't that bad. It was actually, I want to say it wasn't, like, greatly done, but it wasn't too bad to watch. It was like, but here it takes itself way too seriously, and that's what kind of downgrades this a bit for me, is that it takes itself way too seriously, and that's not what's supposed to be with these movies. These movies are supposed to, like, not take themselves seriously. Like, they're just supposed to be campy and over the top, but they just try to be way too serious in this movie. They really do. And, you know, and the writing's just not that great. Like, the writing's really terrible with this movie. The visual effects just look awful. Like, they seriously look completely terrible. Honestly, I think this might be the worst I've seen the effects yet in any of these movies. So yeah, it's definitely really terrible. The pacing with some of the directing, I will say, was kind of a bit sloppy. Like, it's mostly like some of the editing and all that. Like, it could be a little bit all over the place. And lastly, the movie is really boring. It's really boring, to be honest with you. Like, it's just like, can we just keep on going? Besides some hilarious moments and some cool action scenes, it's really boring. Like, I'm just like, can something just come on now? Like, it was just really dragging it out a bit, and yeah, I just was like, come on, just something happen, please. But overall, Sharknado 5 Global Swarming, they kind of had a missed opportunity with this. Like, you know, especially, I wasn't expecting anything to top the 4th movie, because the 4th movie, how are you going to top that with all the bizarreness that happened in that film? But they could have at least still made a fun movie, but overall, it was just kind of just mediocre at best. It was okay. So it's time for my official grade on Sharknado 5 Global Swarming, and my official grade on Sharknado 5 Global Swarming, it's a C-. Like, it's okay, it's fine. Like, it's definitely just kind of just mediocre, and I kind of wish that this movie could have just been a little bit better than it was. You know what I mean? Just to be just a fun, campy film. Like, I'm not expecting, like, Oscar-worthy, you know, crap from this. I just want this to just be, like, just fun, campy fun, and it wasn't that at all. It was just kind of just a bland, mediocre film. Like, it was that at times, but not really throughout the majority of the film. So yeah, it definitely deserves a C minus. Just a mediocre and forgettable film, honestly. So, what did you think of Sharknado 5 Global Swarming? Leave in the comment section below, and I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.